Hello, cinephiles and soundtrack seekers. Welcome to No Critics Allowed, the show where we toss aside the star ratings and celebrate the movies that makes us feel something. Whether you're here for the action, the laughter, or the tears, there's no better place to dive into the stories that make us smile. Today, we're turning up the volume to talk about the power of soundtracks. Now, if this episode were a movie, the score playing right now would be swelling, like the Avengers assembling for the final battle. Music is an integral part of our lives. It shapes our moods, emotions, and even our memories. And in the world of movies and TV, music is that one ingredient that can make or break a scene. When done right, it's not just background noise. It's a character in itself. The right music can heighten tension, like when you hear the ominous two-note rhythm in Jaws, signaling that something is about to go terribly wrong. It can express deep emotions. Think of the Lion King's Circle of Life lifting your spirits to the heavens. And of course, it enhances the storytelling, making your experience with your favorite films or shows more immersive, more exciting, and sometimes more emotional than you ever expected. Let's start by taking a trip back in time. The early days of cinema gave us this silent film era, which dominated the late 19th and early 20th centuries. While the films themselves may have been silent, the theaters were anything but. Musicians, whether they were solo instrumentalists, small orchestras, or even just a guy with the piano, performed live. Their job? To set the mood, whether the scene was funny, scary, or filled with a heart-wrenching drama. That live music created an atmosphere and filled in the gaps where words and dialogues couldn't. By the late 1920s, the silent era gave way to the groundbreaking change in film, synchronized soundtracks. Enter The Jazz Singer in 1927, a film that not only gave us dialogue but paired it with music that was perfectly timed to the scenes. This marked a major turning point in the cinematic history, giving composers and musicians the chance to create scores that were built specifically for the scene. As technology in film advanced, so did music. This allowed us to enter the golden age of movie soundtracks, introducing us to some of the greatest composers of all time. Let's roll out the red carpet for a few legends of the soundtrack world. So here's the top movie composers and their most famous scores. We have John Williams with Star Wars. Hans Zimmer, Inception. Ennio Morricone, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Howard Shore, The Lord of the Rings. James Horner, Titanic. Danny Elfman, the 1989 Batman. Jerry Goldsmith, Alien. Bernard Herrmann, Psycho. Alan Silvestri, Back to the Future. Max Steiner, Gone with the Wind. Alexandre Desplat, The Grand Budapest Hotel. Michael Giacchino, Up. John Barry, James Bond, Goldfinger. Thomas Newman, American Beauty. Randy Newman, Toy Story.
You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old past said. Boy, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me.
Henry Mancini, The Pink Panther. Vangelis, Blade Runner. Lalo Schifrin, Mission Impossible. Rachel Portman, Chocolat. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, The Social Network. These composers didn't just add music to films, they shaped how we feel about the stories, turning simple scenes into iconic moments. When you think of Star Wars, you can't help but hum the opening theme. When you think of Jurassic Park, the majestic notes flood your mind and bring back the sense of awe from seeing those dinosaurs for the first time. From the silent era to the digital age, music continues to be a vital element in cinema. It's the heartbeat of the story, whether it's a sweeping orchestra or a single piano note or a pulsing, pounding beat. Music elevates the film to another level. My favorite film composer has to be John Williams, not because he's well known, but because his music has genuinely impacted my life. I was born in 1986, so just think about all of the films he's composed since then, from Star Wars to Harry Potter. His film has been the soundtrack to so many iconic moments in film. But aside from Williams, another one of my favorites is Jerry Goldsmith and his love theme from Chinatown. And one of my favorites that I've already had played is Alan Silvestri. I mean, the Back to the Future theme goes hard. It's timeless. One of my favorites. Let's play it again. Now I know some of you listening are feeling something already, especially if you got one of those soundtracks playing in the background. It's amazing how music has this profound ability to evoke emotion. One single piece of music can make you feel the character's pain.
It's okay. You don't have to do anything. You don't have your usual energy. Remember how we were always saying what a pain you are? You're the world's worst dog. Don't believe it. Don't believe it even for a minute, because you knew we couldn't find a better dog. You know what made you such a great dog is you loved us every day, no matter what. That's an amazing thing. You know how much we love you. Love you so much. Love you more than anything. I don't know exactly where we go from here. I want you to remember you're a great dog, Marley. You're a great dog.
He won't feel this. He'll just slip away. You ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Joy.
Wear a shirt today, being the last day and all.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. But, wear one tomorrow, though, okay? Because tomorrow's going to be your first day. If you'd like to work here as a broker. Would you like that, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Good. We couldn't be happier. So, welcome. Was it as easy as it looked?
No, sir. No, sir, it wasn't.
Good luck, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Oh, Chris. I almost forgot.
Thank you. This part of my life, this little part, is called happiness.
Fear.
Can you smell the circus, Georgie? There's peanuts, cotton candy, hot dogs, and...
Popcorn?
popcorn! Is that your favorite?
Uh-huh.
Mine too! Because they pop. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, pop, pop.
I should get going now.
Without your boat? You don't want to lose it, Georgie. Bill's gonna kill you. Here. Take it. Take it, Georgie.
Or glory. elevates the entire scene. Let's put this to the test with an example. I'm going to say some lines as a sheriff in a Western scene. First without music, and then with the score. Let's see how the music changes the entire vibe.
You know, this place used to be quiet. The kind of place where folks left the doors unlocked and everyone knew each other by name. But you brought a storm with you when you rode in. Now, I ain't one to accuse a man without reason, but there's been too many fires, too many missing folks since you got here. So, I'm gonna ask you this once. Real plain. What are you hiding? Because if there's something you ain't telling me, the sun might set on you before it rises on justice. You know, this place used to be quiet. The kind of place where folks left the doors unlocked and everyone knew each other by name. But you brought a storm with you when you rode in. Now, I ain't one to accuse a man without reason, but there's been too many fires, too many missing folks since you got here. So, I'm gonna ask you this once. Real plain. What are you hiding? Because if there's something you ain't telling me, the sun might set on you before it rises on justice.
Do you see how the music changes the entire scene? It makes what would have been a simple monologue and adds an emotional weight to it. Music in film is the language of emotion, speaking directly to how we feel as we watch the story unfold. When used effectively, it can transform a simple scene into an unforgettable cinematic moment. It's like a musical compass that guides our emotions and prepare us for the journey ahead, from the heart-pounding beats that accompany an action-packed chase. To the tender melodies that make you tear up. The soundtrack serves as an emotional anchor. It allows us to connect with the characters and the story on a deeper level. Think about Jaws. Would it be the same classic thriller without that iconic, suspenseful theme that builds the tension as the shark gets closer? Absolutely not. It's that music that sets the tone and puts us on the edge of our seats, gripping the armrest because we know something is about to go down. Now let's dive into something called leitmotifs. If you're not familiar with the term, it's a recurring musical theme associated with a particular character, idea, or situation in a film. Think of it like a signature tune. Whenever you hear it, you know exactly who or what it's tied to. One of the most famous examples of a leitmotif is Darth Vader's ominous Imperial March. The moment you hear those deep, commanding notes, you know Vader is about to step onto the scene, and the tension instantly rises. You don't even need to see him. The music tells you he's there. And there's plenty more. Take Hedwig's theme from Harry Potter. As soon as that first twinkling note plays, you're immediately transported to the magical world of Hogwarts. Or how about the Superman theme? When that triumphant score hits, it's as if you feel the hero soaring through the skies. It's funny, I just realized that all of those examples are John Williams. The man's a legend for a reason. But lest you think leitmotifs is a Williams exclusive phenomenon, let's talk about the Godfather Waltz by Nino Rota. The haunting melody is synonymous with the Corleone family. When you hear it, you know you're not just watching a crime film. You're stepping into the world of power, loyalty, and betrayal. It perfectly sets a tone for every scene it touches, adding depth to the already intricate layers of the film. Now, what I'm about to say is maybe a little controversial, but here it goes. I don't think today's films have the same memorable impact with their music. Nothing really stands out the way it used to. Remember the days when movies would have those grand themes that would instantly make you feel like a kid again? We've already heard some of the examples in this episode, and there are so many more out there. But recently, I've realized that there aren't too many new movies that have the same kind of memorable music. It's either coming from Disney or hated by the audience like Joker 2. Nowadays, it's filled with pop songs that are catchy but easy to forget. Just the other day, I was watching season 4 of The True Detective. I love Billie Eilish's song in it, but it's just a pop song. Great, but not iconic in the sense of a timeless film score.
What do you want from me? Why don't you run? of me? Why do you care for me? When we all fall asleep, where do we go?
And let's talk about the MCU for a second. Sure, they have the Avengers theme, which is recognizable and strong, but beyond that, not much stands out. Guardians of the Galaxy is basically a throwback radio station. Don't get me wrong, the music fits the film vibe perfectly, but it's not the kind of original score you'll be humming for decades later. It's not the director's fault or the rest of the crew, it's the big shots, the executives. They look at the charge trends and what's selling right now and they say, hey, people like this. It feels like many film companies are playing it safe, sticking to the pop songs their studio or parent companies own. It's like they're plugging in a playlist rather than crafting a score that will leave an imprint. But I forgot to give credit where it's due. There are still composers out there creating incredible work. Take Michael Giacchino, for example. This man's responsible for the music in The Incredibles. Inside Out? And a bunch of Pixar films that still give me goosebumps. There are talented people out there, but they just need to be found. And honestly, it's not that hard. Just look through social media and you'll find countless independent musicians showcasing their talent, waiting for that moment to score a film. If studios would put more thought and care into their music, I really believe we will return to the days of the grand memorable themes and scores, music that doesn't just complement the movie, but defines it. Now, if you didn't know this already about me, I love listening to film scores. In fact, I love all music genres, every last one of them. As long as it's good, I'm in. But my number one? Film scores, hands down. Fun fact, whenever I'm writing stories or scripts and I need to capture a specific emotion or feel, I'll curate a list of film scores that help me get into the headspace. Even while writing this episode, I've had the playlist of the top film scores of all time running in the background on YouTube Music. But I would usually hit the random button and just let it flow, letting the music inspire me. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with something to think about. The power of the music in film is nothing short of magic. It's more than just notes on a page or background noise to fill the silence. It's a storyteller in its own right. A well-crafted score doesn't just accompany the visuals, it breathes life into them. It makes the stakes feel higher, the victory sweeter, and the heartbreaks hit even harder. For us moviegoers, we've all had those moments when every single piece of music has stayed with us long after the credits rolled. Whether it's the haunting notes of The Godfather, the exhilarating theme of Indiana Jones, or the emotional waves of Up. Music is the invisible thread that ties us to the story and its characters. But here's where it gets exciting. This magic isn't limited to the past. There are composers right now, maybe even some listening to this podcast, who have the potential to create the next unforgettable score. If you're out there with the melody in your mind, don't hold back. The world needs your music, your creativity, and your passion to carry us into the cinematic experiences. You could be the one who writes the next Jaws or the Lord of the Rings theme that people will hum decades from now. So, whether you're a fan of the classics or someone looking for the next great score, take a moment next time you watch a film. Let the music guide you. Pay attention to how it moves you, how it makes the film feel alive. And who knows, you might discover that the music is the true hero of the story. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the power of soundtracks. I hope it's inspired you to listen a little closer and appreciate the magic that music brings to the screen. Until next time, keep your ears open and your hearts ready, because every great film deserves a great score. This is No Critics Allowed, and I'll see you next reel.